Howdy y'all, I am Adam, a Renaissance nerd, and I love real Star Wars. Franchise closest to my heart, been a fan all my life, EU guy. I will do everything in my power to collect, protect, and preserve real Star Wars. Now, Disney is not real Star Wars. Never has been, never will be. 2014 told me everything I needed to know when they threw out the EU. When KK said we don't have thousands of pages, hundreds of books to draw for content and lore. When you keep hiring the likes of Jar Jar Abrams, Rian Johnson, Taika Waititi, Dave Filoni, Leslye Headland, when you put these people in charge of something they do not understand, that tells me all I need to know. See, I bring up Leslye Headland. Leslye Headland has been talking since Celebration. And now she's talking about her upcoming show, The Acolyte. Leslye Headland confirms the upcoming Star Wars series, The Acolyte, will look into what's going on for all of us right now. Oh, really, Leslye? But what do you have to say? This line came out a couple of days ago. I've commented on it on Twitter. You might have seen it. Check me out at The Ren Nerd. She continues to talk to Empire. What I think is so interesting right now is that everybody thinks they're right. The Jedi really think they're right. And George tells us that they're wrong in Phantom. They missed a huge aspect of the dark side rising that just felt like fertile ground to look into what's going on for all of us right now. Yeah, you don't actually know this. You don't know what's going on. You don't understand Star Wars. Yes, the Jedi were in decline because of the rigidity of the Jedi Order. Not understanding that you needed to evolve behind your detachment. You're not becoming involved emotionally with people and that. You're just your compassion and your sense of justice. They needed to evolve, and that was why they failed. But you don't understand that what the Sith did ever since Darth Bane created the rule of two so that they could hide in secret and grow in strength. Just two, all powered, centered on two, a master and an apprentice. And the apprentice always becomes stronger and overthrows the master so that the power keeps growing. It was a plan for thousands of years. It was a plan. Well, maybe 1,000 years. I don't know. I don't know the exact date for Darth Bane, but you understand what I'm saying. It was a plan set in motion. It wasn't just they missed a huge aspect of the dark side rising. No, it was a purposeful attempt by the Sith to undermine the Jedi, with Palpatine being the pinnacle of Sith Lords at that point, and slipping in between the cracks, using the dark side to diminish the light side so that the Jedi, their powers were weakened. Hence, the Force being unbalanced. That is what's happening. For you to say, oh, we're going to just tell a story on something. You're going to tell something about, in the made-up Disney era called the High Republic, or as we lovingly call it, the Let's Get High Republic, because you have to be high to like it. Rocks that fly ships, Jedis that have bake-offs. Yeah, whatever. You have to be high to like it. It's made up, it's bullshit, and it doesn't quite fit in the lore. But then she has to take it to another level. First, she reveals she doesn't understand real Star Wars at all. She doesn't understand where it's coming from. And then she has to say this. She has to make it about her agenda, about sexuality. Because again, this is Disney, this is Star Wars. This is all they really care about. When I was a young queer girl, I was just hanging out with Ursula, the sea witch from The Little Mermaid. As a queer girl growing up, if you don't identify with the heroes and the villains show up and they're all queer-coded, you're like, yes, that's me. This is, again, more of this radical agenda nonsense inserting into things that have no association with sexuality. There's no coding. It's just, maybe you just liked Ursula as a character. During an appearance at Celebration in April, Headland made it clear series would be told from the perspective of the villains. Well, Leslye would know something about villains, wouldn't she? Being Harvey Weinstein's former assistant. She keeps going. So my question became, as a fan, when I initially pitched the show to Kathleen Kennedy,
So when are you writing a Star Wars movie?
Oh, please, Queen Kathleen Kennedy.
Which was an original idea with new characters and not connected to the Skywalker saga or any of the existing characters in the High Republic. That would kind of be pointless considering nobody knows the characters from the High Republic. Nobody knows any of them. So what's the point of even saying that? Nobody knows the High Republic. You have to find 5 morons on Twitter who actually read it. The rest of the world has ignored it. Doesn't even know it exists. Doesn't even know it's still happening. We made a comment the other day. It's in phase 3. Somebody said to me, what? That's still a thing? Nobody knows this is going on. Nobody cares about High Republic. What I wanted to introduce to fans is the concept. 2 was how do you reconcile the Jedi at the height of their power, the galaxy at the height of this age of enlightenment and peace, who George says they become at the top of Phantom Menace. And to me, that meant, why don't you tell a story about Star Wars from the perspective of villains, of the bad guys? And if those bad guys are outnumbered at this point, then that means you get this opportunity to see how the Jedi very subtly go from who they were in the High Republic to the Old Republic, and who they became by the time you're watching episodes 1, 2, and 3. Word salad of someone who has no idea what they're doing, throwing out terms like Old Republic, throwing out terms like titles like Phantom Menace, episodes 1 through 3, talking like you actually know what's going on, saying the age of peace and enlightenment, the height of their power. This is Disney made up garbage. There was never the High Republic, there was only the Republic. And once you're in the Galactic Empire and the New Republic, you refer to it as the Old Republic, which was existed for thousands of years. For her to word salad her way through this reveals she doesn't know what she's talking about and realizes she has no idea how to tell a story. For the simple point that there's no stakes in whatever she's going to tell. And yes, I'm going to watch it and I'm going to cover it. I can't wait to get my hands on this. She has no idea how to tell a story because you're telling a story, again, trapped by prequel rules, where you know the outcome. The Sith win. Whatever this story you see about her so-called made-up villains, they're going to win. Because eventually, Darth Plagueis teaches Palpatine, who kills Plagueis, who becomes Emperor, who teaches Vader, and blah-de-blah-de-blah. We know how the real story of Star Wars plays out. This is trash that tells you nothing. It's a vehicle for agenda. How many times does she say queer in one statement here? 5 or 6. They're obsessed with their agenda. She is obsessed with making this about being gay. She's upset. They needed an intimacy coordinator in this. But she's not the only one. Good old Cowboy Dave has to remind us that, again, he is creatively bankrupt. That everything he does, he either steals, butchers, or completely misunderstands. Dave Filoni says Thrawn is the big bad of Disney Star Wars New Republic era, despite Darth Sidious and the First Order destroying the New Republic. Now, that's all fake Disney Star Wars, but let's play in this playground. Let's play in this sandbox for the rest of this video, just to make a point. According to Dave Filoni, after he spends time properly respecting Timothy Zahn, because we respect Zahn, Thrawn trilogy, that's where the EU really begins. After he does some proper respect to Timothy Zahn, he then starts to really talk out of his ass and reveal that he doesn't get it. There are a lot of factors, especially in playing with a character like novelist Timothy Zahn's Thrawn. I want to make sure that I'm honoring ideas that Tim had, so I want to see what's in his books for the story. In The Bad Batch, there's actually some crossover with the book Heir to the Empire in the military base of Tantus. So there are little things like that I've built across different mediums, all in preparation for things that come later. Oh, really? So you admit you're pulling from somebody else's better ideas to make Thrawn your big bad. And Thrawn has every right to be a big bad. But then you go on to reveal that, what's the point? What's the point? You are again locked into this stupid Disney Star Wars timeline of, hey, Everything leads to the sequel trilogy, where Kylo Emo, or Kylo Ren, they call him Kylo Ren, and fake Palpatine destroy the New Republic. Then what's the point of what you're doing? What's the point of making Thrawn a bad guy? I mean, you already butchered him in your crap show Rebels. That wasn't Thrawn. Thrawn would not have been outdone by 5 troglodytes on a little freighter. A couple try-hard Jedis, and a bunch of morons. He would not have been outdone by them. So you admit to stealing ideas from a better creative like Timothy Zahn, and then you reveal that you're going to make a story where it leads nowhere. All your buildup of Mandoverse leads nowhere. You create nothing. You resolve nothing, because all roads lead to the sequel trilogy and Jake Skywalker. What is the point of any of this? That's the final question in all of this. What is the point of anything this man does? He doesn't add anything. He just creates contradictions that forces them to retcon their own timeline again and again. He doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. Disney doesn't get it. They've never gotten it, and they don't want to get it because they hate George Lucas's Star Wars. They don't respect it. They don't like it. They want to redo it as much as possible. And that's why I will shout it out every chance I get. I will call it out. I will stand on the cliff and I will scream, I love real Star Wars, and Disney Star Wars is trash. And you can like it, but don't tell me it's Star Wars, because it isn't. All right, I'm done. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, a like would be very much appreciated. If you are new here, I invite you to subscribe to me right here on YouTube, where I hope to earn your trust and support using facts and logic, because facts and logic do not care about whiny Stan and SJW Fifis. Hit that notification button, share my videos if you like what I'm preaching. Check to make sure you're still subscribed. And at the same time, I want to hear comments from you. I want to hear what you have to say. I care what you think, because you're real passionate fans. I do not care what the Stans, fake fans, collaborators, and SJWs have to say, because 201, they're all cows behind keyboards, and they'll be triggered. They'll call me a hater, and that just makes my day. Thank you again for watching. Take it easy. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to reach out to me, please email me at theranernerd@gmail.com for all channel business purposes. I am on Twitter now, mostly for promotion and sharing of videos. Maybe a little shit stirring here and there. Who knows? @TheRenNerd. You can also find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can see me on Rumble and Odyssey under the Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.